There have been protests and rallies all over the country over the past few weeks, some having to do with the Affordable Care Act. You spoke to people all over the country to get their take on this political climate. What kinds of things have you been learning? A lot of our colleagues have been seeing the protests and those tense situations, but let me tell you, the mood here at the Capitol could not have been more different. It felt celebratory, it felt jovial. Morning and welcome to Wake Up Washington on the very first snowfall of the season. Very exciting. I'm Hilary Reel. First, this was a long speech, 1 hour. This was the second longest speech in modern history, right behind Bill Clinton. His speech was 1 hour and 5 minutes. Take us back to high school. Remember when that algebra teacher would put a math problem like this up on the board? At least for me, my eyes would roll back. I'd be bored. I'd be confused. Donald Trump, officially the 45th president of the United States. He'll be moving into the White House here in January with his family. He's also expected to be at the White House later this week for his first security briefing as president-elect. Investigation centers around an underage party that got out of hand at the home of an Austrian diplomat. The body of the 17-year-old was found right here. You know that Dominion took the head of the Department of Environmental Quality to the Masters. This is a $2,000 trip, $1,200 at the Irish bar. What was the point of that?
You're starting to get into the sensational here now, Hillary. Don't you think so?
But it's not sensational because the Department of Environmental Quality oversees Dominion. So that's an important relationship there.
WUSA 9's Hilary Reel has been digging into every angle of this for tonight's Special Assignment Unit report.
So we're headed to Prince William County, the town of Dumfries. There's a small peninsula called Possum Point. There have been local media reports about some families who say their water is contaminated. We're going to start by talking to the families, see what they've been going through. All right, so here we are. Hi, how are you? What has this whole ordeal been like for you guys?
I would have to say overwhelming.
Because the Maros say tests found toxic elements in their well water. I'm Hilary.
Hi. Started getting this smell and the bad taste and a film on the water.
Dominion Energy, the company that provides power for Possum Point, burned coal on their nearby site until 2003. This is all coal ash. This is what coal ash looks like. It's the waste product of coal. And there are some dangerous chemicals in here that could cause some serious problems. Things like neurological problems, behavioral issues, and increased risks of cancer. According to a lawsuit, neighbors are worried Dominion Energy is dumping coal ash into a tributary of Quantico Creek to get rid of it. Neighbors say it's getting into their drinking water, and they're worried it's going to get them sick. This is Dominion Energy, and just to give you a lay of the land, we're about 30 miles southwest of D.C. and then 80 miles north of Richmond. So we just wanted to see exactly how close those neighbors live to Dominion. All right, so we're starting at 00. So the closest home is actually 1 mile away by car, but if you look at the maps, Dominion and these homes are actually a lot closer than that.
It's hard to protect your family when you don't have education. So you feel like your hands are tied, that I'm failing. How do you protect them knowing that any minute something else can happen?
You know, we didn't know what was in the water.
I poured bottled water over her head every morning for a shower.
And we'd fill up a 32-gallon trash can and we'd flush the toilets that way and brush our teeth and shower, you know, sponge baths and everything.
I would scream for him and he would kind of just pour jugs over just to rinse my hair out. And it was freezing cold. But what option do you have? I mean, I went to a hotel at first.
I had to beg her to come home.
Dominion is not the kind of company that's going to dump anything that's questionable into any body of water.
So is the water contaminated? 3 different water tests were done. This one by the state showed that the water is safe. This test by the county found that the water is also safe. A 3rd test done by a local environmental group found that the water is dangerous. The lead level in one of the wells, 30 times what the government says is safe. Scientists say water test results can vary. We asked the neighbors if we could take their water to an independent lab for testing. They agreed, but then their lawyers said no because of the ongoing litigation.
Let's grab some of the water.
And
Then you have to drag it inside.
yes,
What is Dominion's message to the neighbors who are so upset and so concerned?
we are comfortable with the findings on their well water, the quality of their water, that it's safe, that it meets the requirements for public drinking water.
This test, from the same level of certification as labs that the health department and county used, show that the water is dangerous.
We have no knowledge of those tests and are not in a position to question the veracity or methodology or whatever that was used for those tests.
So the water goes in on the front side coming out of
Chuck Penn introduced us to Jason Williams. He's the man in charge on the ground at Dominion. Every few weeks, Jason and his team are required to sample the water around the site. One water test turned up some surprising results last year. Heavy metals associated with coal ash were found in the water around the Possum Point plant. Even though Dominion says it hasn't contaminated the water. Back in December, Dominion offered to hook 8 families up to county water or provide water filtration systems for free. But there's a catch. Residents must agree not to sue Dominion.
And Dominion made the offer to be a good neighbor and give everybody peace of mind.
But several neighbors, including the Morrows, had already paid thousands of dollars to hook up to public water.
Are you going to reimburse them?
That, I'm going to intercede here. That relates to and is germane to the lawsuit, so we're not going to comment on that.
The Morrows still drink bottled water. They say they're worried about toxic residue in their pipes. Now the Morrows and another family are suing Dominion for more than $1 million each. The suit also requests Dominion stop polluting water sources in the future. Dominion denies it pollutes the water.
And this is where we are today. And they totally disrupted our lives.
Look what they've done to us.
Would you feel comfortable having your family and your kids drink the water?
I would not have any hesitation whatsoever to drink water, a glass of water or whatever. None whatsoever.
And that's despite another certified lab that found issues. You still feel comfortable and confident?
You're being redundant now.
I'm just asking. I just want to double check with you. I want to be clear on your position.
I think I could not be more clear. I would not have any hesitation whatsoever to drink the water. None.
Raise your hand if you're worried that your child is falling through the cracks.
Well, actually, I don't think my child fell through the crack. I think she was thrown in a crack.
Raise your hand if you feel like your child has received or is receiving grades that he or she doesn't deserve.
My concern is not the letter grade my kid gets. My job as a parent is to make sure that my child can thrive. If that means my child needs to get a D so we can get him what he needs so he can thrive, then he needs to get the D.
We invited a group of Prince George's County parents from all different schools who had never met before to our WUSA 9 studios.
I'm concerned that my child is just going to be passed straight through school, and then once he graduates, he won't be able to do anything.
It was 3 months ago that a state audit found Prince George's County officials were boosting grades on a high school level to improve graduation rates. Since then, our investigation uncovered that report may have missed a huge part of the story. These parents say grade tampering is happening on a middle and elementary school level too.
So what they've done is they have given her straight A's to shut me up.
For Willetta, it started 5 years ago for her youngest daughter. We won't reveal her name or her school to protect her identity.
They simply want to just pass her on.
This marking period, just like every other, Willetta's daughter got A's and 1B and made the honor roll. But she received failing grades on her assignments.
55% is a failing grade.
On her state tests that measure classroom progress, she received the lowest grade possible.
91, level 1, did not yet meet expectations.
Even a psychologist employed by the school district evaluated her school performance and found that she performs below grade level.
So how can she get A's if she's still functioning below grade level?
Every parent in this room provided us with similar documentation.
Raise your hand if you feel like the school district is taking your concerns seriously.
And they're now calling on the head of Prince George's County Schools, Kevin Maxwell, to take action. Dr. Maxwell wouldn't sit down face to face with us, but the school's professional PR rep would.
So just to be clear, the superintendent doesn't feel like this is a topic that he should address with us?
Of course not. The superintendent is concerned about any issue in the school district. But I'm trying to help you because I want to be able to explain to you the route, the most direct route to a solution that a parent can have.
White says it's up to teachers and principals to resolve these types of issues, not Dr. Maxwell. But emails show Dr. Maxwell has been in communication with parents about their concerns.
Is the superintendent aware of these grade tampering allegations on the elementary and middle school level?
You were the first to bring me those concerns.
And I'm just curious, I see in these emails, Dr. Maxwell is on these emails and some other high-ranking officials. How is it that Dr. Maxwell has no idea that this is happening?
You're saying that. I'm not saying that.
No, you told me that this is the first time you've heard of these allegations.
First time I've heard of it. Absolutely. First time I've heard of it.
I have the emails right here.
And I haven't seen any of them.
Even though top administrators are CC'd on the emails, I showed White the students' failing grades on assignments and then their A's on report cards.
There are different grading rubrics and ways that teachers grade assignments.
I don't know any grade rubric, maybe you do, where a 6 out of 11, a 3 out of 10, a 2 out of 10, a 10 out of 18 would equate to an A.
This is good information to resolve a problem, and I'd love to take it to them.
What is it like to be in a room with other parents experiencing similar issues?
You almost think it's just you, but it feels good to know that there's other parents out there.
And I feel supported. When I heard all of these stories, I said, oh, I'm so happy because my school always says I'm the only parent complaining.
Wow.
I'm not backing down because the kid that sits next to him in class matters. Until every child in this county gets what they deserve, I'm not going to be quiet.
Are grade disparities a widespread issue across the county? School officials say no, but we couldn't independently analyze student grade data because of privacy laws. As for the parents you met in our story, school officials are now reviewing their cases. We are going to stay on top of this. Hilary Reel, WUSA 9.